Hi, y'all. Kinsey Schofield here, and I am with the Political Asylum with Kevin O'Sullivan's Kevin O'Sullivan. Kevin, I know that we have heard a lot about the National Enquirer lately. Yeah, they are basically the star of the Trump trial. And I was perusing the National Enquirer, and I found a very interesting article about Meghan Markle that I wanted to share with you. And here, I just want to start.
I feared you were going to say you found an article by me then. It's happened in the past, I'll tell you, but that was a long time ago.
I'm going to have to get my Google going. But I mean, if the Trump trial has taught us anything, it's that some of these tabloids have contacts in high places.
You're so right. You're so right. I mean, do not write newspapers like the National Enquirer, the Star, the Globe off. Yes, a lot of their stories are garish and ridiculous. I know you know how they operate. They operate by getting three people to say that their story is true, and then you can't get sued even if it's not true. I love America because that's freedom of the press. However, the idea that everything that appears in the National Enquirer is absolute nonsense is a really bad mistake to make. When the chips are down, the National Enquirer has serious contacts, and its stories should be taken seriously, as we're finding out from the Trump trial.
Exactly. And, we found out so much when Lauren Sanchez sued the same, I think, parent company over the fact that they found out she was dating Jeff Bezos. It was her brother that was telling them at the end of the day. So, I mean, these people have some wild contacts. So they've got a new report, and they've titled it Royal Dilemma. Meghan Markle struggles to find footing in Hollywood ventures. Prince Harry refuses another show business disaster. So I want to get your reaction to some of these quotes, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure, of course.
The first one is Meghan Markle is refusing to give up on her dreams of showbiz glory, but is feeling the weight of reality after several of her recent ventures with Prince Harry haven't gone as planned. Is your sense there that they have become this kind of joke via South Park? And I mean, because commercially, Harry's book was a success, and their first Netflix docuseries was a success. So where do you think she's feeling this weight that they're not a success?
Well, look, this is what shall we say, the tense dynamic, I think, of that relationship. Harry hates showbiz. He doesn't understand it. It's not part of his world. And that's why he hasn't been embraced by Hollywood, because he's an alien creature to Tinseltown. And Tinseltown, is not interested in him. He doesn't want to be in the movies. He doesn't want to write a script. If you're if you're in Hollywood and you haven't got a script you want people to see, they don't understand you. The gas pump guys go, "Hey, I've written this script." The waiter, "I've written this script." Harry doesn't want to know anything about that, and therefore he will never fit in Hollywood. Now, Meghan, in stark contrast, is a creature of Hollywood. Still the driving force in her, like so many Californian kids, is to be a big star in the movies, to be a big star in Hollywood. And she's still got that. And in that respect, the two of them live in parallel universes. I think that Harry, looks down on the showbiz world because he never has had to work for his status. For Meghan, it's not often I'll praise her, but, she's been very ruthless in her pursuit of success. That's what successful people do in Hollywood. So the problem for Meghan, though, is, because she's married to this royal, it's not like, I don't know, one of the soaps or one of the producers is going to say, "Why don't you be in my next movie? Got a great script, Ryan Gosling's interested." It's not going to happen because of her position. So I think that the difference in their backgrounds and the difference in their approach to life and to celebrity life is a problem. She still wants to be a movie star, basically, or some kind of star. He doesn't understand the concept of stardom. He doesn't understand that, most people, including Meghan, to her credit, you have to work for it. Harry, from the moment he was born, has been an international superstar. So I think therein lies a massive problem in that marriage.
Yeah, the source was quoted as saying, Meghan wants everything all at once, and it's backfiring on her again. Meanwhile, Harry, it's claimed, has been mortified by the blowback over their projects and is insisting he won't tolerate another show business disaster. I mean, I feel like I have a hard time processing Harry pushing back towards Meghan at all on anything, but I can also see him struggling because, like you said, he was the golden boy. And now all of a sudden people have changed their attitudes towards him. And that must be difficult to process when you're just born a rock star and everywhere you show up, there's girls screaming your name. And now all of a sudden you're afraid when you open that car door, you're going to be booed. And so that's where I kind of think that there might be some legitimacy there in that comment.
Yeah. He is so much a fish out of water in Hollywood. He's so much a fish out of water when it comes to showbiz, and the schism, the gap between that and Meghan's approach to life. I mean, in the end, what is Meghan? She's still a deal or no deal game show glamour girl on the make, isn't she? That's what she did first. Then she got into Suits, and still, I think she feels she's climbing some kind of ladder. She is a very skillful social mountaineer, and continues to climb that mountain. Whereas again, because that's Meghan. I need to get higher up the social scale. I need to mix with the right people. That's anathema. That's confusing to Harry because that has always been his world. From the moment he was born, he was mixing with the right people. From the moment he was 3 years old, he was the top of the social scale. So you see the differences between this couple from very different worlds. And, I don't know what's going on between them, but you do sort of maybe sense that all is not well. Do you remember those pictures when they returned from Nigeria? In Nigeria, there they were, lovey-dovey, the world's most ideal loved-up couple. And then when the cameras were off, one camera caught them, they're 5 yards apart, not even looking at each other. So you do wonder whether or not the differences in these two, the differences in their background, the differences in their approach to life are beginning to take their toll.
Yeah, their work ethic. Well, just to your point, here's one of the quotes in the article as well. Hollywood is glam and glitz on the outside, but the real stars have worked hard for their success. And the source is almost insinuating, too, that real stars are rejecting Meghan because her success comes in association with who she married. But I agree with you. She has hustled. She hustled hard to get where she is today. They said if the public doesn't like you, they won't get behind you, and no amount of money you throw at the problem will make it go away. I mean, with that in mind, because I completely agree with that, is there anything they could do tomorrow in your mind that would change public perception of them?
I'll tell you something that I think would help. That I'm always banging on at you about it. This American Riviera orchard, get it up and running. What is it now? Nearly 3 months ago. Look, I've got this kitchen here, a lot of beige stuff, cushions and, cutlery and all that. Here I am cooking, and a great, yeah, right. I made all this jam. Get it up and running. This is the problem with those two. You say, what should they do? What they should do is something, anything. They seem to sort of start things and never finish them. They're sort of gathering around this weird pretend royal trip to Nigeria as if it's some kind of a triumph. I mean, I'll give them one thing. At least it was something. Apart from that, what the hell is it that they're doing? What are they doing? What is Harry doing? Flying back to Britain very quickly not to see his dad. What is Meghan doing? Launching a website, but not launching a website. Oh, I sent 50 pots of jam that I made myself. Yeah,
to
right.
To the 1%. Like, not even to like...
Yeah. So that's the answer to your question, Kinsey. What should they do? Something. They bought the rights to this boring sounding book. What is it called? The Lover by the Lake or something. It's going to be a great film. It reflects their own lives. Two people who met earlier and then met again in middle age and fell in love. And I'm falling asleep even thinking about it. But we've got the rights to this. Well, make the bloody film then. Get on with it. That's what they've got to do. To stop faffing around in Santa Barbara, sniffing up the aroma of the local cannabis farms. By the way, you came on my show last night and you did loads of wordplay on that. You know what we missed? Deal or no deal. Deal or no deal. However, seriously, stop faffing around in Santa Barbara, Montecito, and just do something. Really, they're looking like the couple with nothing to do, and that is a bad look.
You're right. And so much talk and very little action. One of the points of this story is that insiders say that Meghan is disappointed because the podcasting network she's working with, Limonada, postponed her new podcast till 2025. At the time it was said this was because they were afraid that her other projects like The Cooking Show and American Review Era Orchard would overshadow the podcast, Kevin. But none of that's going on. I mean, you and I are podcasting right now. She could just jump on her phone, computer, whatever. I mean, I just, so many excuses. These people have more excuses than they have dollars in the bank. And that's saying a lot because Harry made a lot of money off of that tell-all.
They'll never struggle for money. Don't forget, when Harry touched down in California, he had 50, probably 80 million bucks in the bank because he inherited it from his mother, Princess Di. And they did get this big deal from Netflix. People at Netflix going, why exactly did we give this couple $120 million? Anyone know? And so on and so forth. The Spotify thing didn't work out. So money, really isn't going to be the problem, but a sense of purpose. Meghan in particular, but I think both of them are really obsessed with how they look, their image. And how they look right now is a couple of rich kids messing around in the sunshine, talking about what they're going to, Hollywood. It's always full of, I got this deal. I got a script and a couple is interested. They're going to make it, Paramount are going to, that's Hollywood. Always talking about the great deal that you've got down the pipeline. And what that means is you've got nothing. You've got the square root of zero. And that is their problem. If you boil it right down, maybe she'll get this damn website, this shopping site going at some point. But right now, if you boil it down, what exactly have these two got going on? I know absolutely nothing. They're planning more weird pretend royal trips. And, I know this is old ground, but this is all about image. What kind of image or what kind of branding improvement does Harry think happened when he came to London and behaved in that absolutely outrageous way? No, Dad, I'm not staying at your palace because, somebody's going to kill me because I can't get police protection. Oh, now I'm off to Nigeria, one of the most dangerous countries in the world. All of this is to do with branding. Now, people read that stuff, they see this stuff, and they go, you know what? You can go to hell, both of you, frankly. And the king, we talked about this. At first, we thought the king had just gone, I'm snubbing you. He did snub Prince Harry, but only after Harry said, he was very generous to the king, given what Harry and Meghan have done to the royal family over the years, from the Oprah Winfrey interview onwards. Very generous and kind-hearted of the king, because he's a very soft-hearted guy. I'll tell you I won't use the language that I would like to use, but I tell you what I'd love the king to do is go, hey, Harry, why don't you F right off? However, he'll never do that. But because he's the king and because he's Charlie, he said, here's a palace. Despite what you've done, you can stay at my palace. And Harry turns around and says, oh, it's not safe. It's not safe. I'm going to stay in a hotel. Well, a palace, we're talking about St. James's Palace, of course, guarded round the clock. A royal palace, call me controversial, but I would say that is a lot more safe than a public hotel where he's decided to stay.
And Nigeria.
Yeah, exactly. So at that point, when he said to the king, oh, I'm going to stay in a hotel, the king said, right, I'm really, really busy. I have 2 engagements. I can't fit you in. Two engagements.
Well, actually, there was
as we say in Britain, I know you don't do this in America, but it's more like I have 2 engagements, and I can't. I'm too busy to see you. The king did snub him at that point, and as I say, all of this behaviour, everything they ever do, that you build a brand by your behaviour, by how the public perceive you, and that brand is falling apart at the seams because of the way those 2 behave.
And they built a brand, I think if you asked a stranger on the street, they built a brand on being highly critical of the British royal family and talking about
exactly
racism. And then you go on a fake Nigerian trip trying to appear royal. And it's like, why would you want to be these people that you say are so awful? Why wouldn't you want to do your own thing and become your own entities versus trying to recreate this quote-unquote racist institution that made you, want to unalive yourself. So I get what you're saying. I don't want to take up much more of your time, but I did want to quickly ask you, news today breaking that the Princess of Wales will not attend this traditional Trooping of the Colour rehearsal next month, and that the King as well is going to travel in a carriage with Queen Camilla for Trooping the Colour. I don't feel like this is the worst news, but the way that I'm seeing
it's not good news, Kinsey. It's not good news. We have to be honest about this. Don't forget, we were told when the terrible news broke, or when she very graciously told us, "Look, stop all this speculation. I'm going to be straight with you. I'm suffering from cancer." What a shock! It still makes me shocked to remember it. But we were told at that point, of course, at this stage, you can't expect to see Kate or the Princess of Wales in public doing any engagements until at least Easter. We're nearly at June.
I think that the Easter thing was in regard to the abdominal surgery. I think she did not give us a date when she did the video. She just said, I'm going away for a little while to protect myself and my children's privacy.
The fact of the matter is, though, Kinsey, she has now been out of public life for longer than we were told, longer than we thought. Now, of course, hopefully, really hopefully, she continues her recovery. But the fact that we're now being told we won't be expected to see her for some time now, and she won't be going to the Trooping of the Colour, won't appear on the balcony with the rest of the family. There's no getting around this. And I say this with a heavy heart, but that is not good news. That is not good news. All of us, we hope and we pray that, and she's been through very serious surgery. She's obviously got a very serious condition. But you see Charles, the King, coming back to public life. You don't see Kate coming back to life. So all we can hope for, and of course our best wishes go with her and William and the kids and the whole royal family. All we can hope for is she is getting better, but I don't know how to put this. I'm disconcerted that she's not isn't coming back as soon as we hoped that she would.
Well, I'm just going to give you the alternative here, because I did speak to someone that said, they typically take vacation or holiday right after Trooping the Colour, but also we've got the general election where everyone is pulling back. So why prop her up for a frenzy, and also a frenzy that distracts from the King, and then all go back into lockdown? And so I kind of understand it in that way. And I've heard perhaps autumn, perhaps is when we might see her again. So
Yeah. Okay.
disappointing news, but, I'm keeping the faith along with you.
Yeah, I am too. But I don't think there's any doubt that her recovery is taking longer than the royal family had hoped. But that isn't to say, we're talking about anything really bad here. But and it's wise not to rush back in these circumstances. But it would be dishonest to say that people in Britain aren't going, hang on, so we won't see her till the autumn. Maybe we were told Easter. Speculation is inevitable. But as I say, I really want to stress, I'm not trying to be downbeat about this, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do. All right. Well, if you love Kevin and I, you can watch me occasionally, quite often weekly, on the Political Asylum with Kevin O'Sullivan on Talk.
Well, I'm going to try and make it twice weekly, actually.
And I enjoyed Kevin immensely. Thank you so much for your time today, because you actually are jumping off here and getting ready for your show. So thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
You're welcome.
And make sure you like, subscribe, and if you agree with us or disagree with us, leave a comment below. Thanks, guys.